Valley News Live at 5 starts right now.
This is Valley News Live at 5.
One of the most anticipated trials of the year will soon be in the hands of a jury. In closing arguments today, prosecutors and the defense offered competing versions of Derek Chauvin's role the day George Floyd died. The state calls Chauvin's actions murder, but the defense says he acted reasonably. Reporter Camila Bernal has more.
George Floyd's final words on May 25, 2020 were, "Please, I can't breathe."
I can't breathe off
All that was required was a little compassion. And none was shown on that day.
In closing arguments, the state telling the jury to remember the videos from George Floyd's final day.
Believe your eyes. What you saw happened, happened.
Putting the blame for Floyd's death on Derek Chauvin.
The defendant was on top of him for 9 minutes and 29 seconds. This wasn't policing. This was murder.
The defense disagrees.
This was an authorized use of force, as unattractive as it may be.
Chauvin's team argues Floyd died from a combination of factors, including drugs, underlying health issues, and possibly exhaust from the police vehicle. But it's up to the jury to determine Chauvin's fate. If convicted on the highest charge, second-degree unintentional murder, the former officer faces up to 40 years in prison.
You have to take into account that officers are human beings, capable of making mistakes in highly stressful situations.
In Minneapolis, I'm Camila Bernal.
Derek Chauvin has pleaded not guilty to second-degree unintentional murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter charges. A carjacking suspect is dead after police say he fired multiple rounds at officers. It happened yesterday in Burnsville, Minnesota. Police say a 20-year-old man was being pursued by officers for driving a vehicle with stolen plates. He crashed that car, then ran into a nearby TGI Fridays, where he encountered a woman who was getting dessert with her goddaughter, and he saw her keys on the table.
Grabbed my keys and he said, "I'll give you $1,000, drop me off in Minneapolis." I said, "I'm with my goddaughter."
She also says the man ran to her car and drove off, firing shots as police were arriving. They followed him and he continued shooting at them. The man crashed the second stolen car and tried to carjack 2 other drivers before officers shot him. No one else was hurt. All officers involved have been placed on standard administrative leave. Moorhead High School students staged a walkout today to protest the death of Daunte Wright and support both Black Lives Matter and Stop Asian Hate movements. Over 100 students made their way to Romkey Park in Moorhead. Many of the students there shared their experiences dealing with racism. This was a student-driven initiative to speak out against racial injustice.
Because this is not right. I have a little sister, she's 7, but she's already experiencing racism. I don't know how to explain it to her. I don't know what to tell her. How do I tell a 7-year-old that this is going to happen to you for the rest of your life? And there's nothing you can do about it. All I can tell her is you have to be strong and you're going to be okay.
Students said they intended to stay out for the entire school day. Looks like we've got a cool week ahead of us. We'll get more on that in a bit, but first let's take a look at this evening. Hutch?
Andrea, thanks so much. Good evening, everyone, on this very chilly and breezy Monday. Take a look at our view from the Luther family location as we're looking at 32nd Avenue South and I-29 in the distance on a busy rush hour. A few peaks of blue in the sky, but it's cool out there. Passing clouds overhead have become more abundant in the afternoon, but the radar shows no snow in our area. Look out to the west, though, in the oil patch. Some more pronounced snow showers. They're quick passing, not very significant. All of us are in the 30s except our southern locations heading into your evening. Your planner shows north winds at 15 to 20 miles per hour, gusts higher than that, settling down finally after sunset. So after 9 o'clock, things quiet down a little bit. Passing clouds all night. We will have a chance of some snow showers, Andrea, by morning for some. We'll have hour-by-hour details on some snow and some much warmer weather in the forecast as well. And we'll go over all of that in just a few moments.
Okay. Thanks, Hutch.
You bet.
A Barnesville physical education teacher and wrestling coach has been arrested for domestic assault. Stuart Brandt was arrested on Saturday after a fight with his roommate over how she cleans the refrigerator. Court documents say Brandt eventually shoved her, grabbed her arms, and when she tried to pull away, he grabbed her neck. When she left the room, Brandt is said to have grabbed her arm with one hand and punched her left side with the other. Brandt has been employed by the school district for 2 years and works as the elementary's Phy Ed teacher and head wrestling coach. The Lisbon, North Dakota man who officials say used an axe to damage Senator John Hoeven's office in Fargo has pleaded guilty. Thomas Starks pleaded guilty to destruction of property. Back in December 2020, Starks went to Senator Hoeven's office and used an axe to smash the window, causing substantial damage to the intercom system and door frame. The damage is estimated at more than $1,000. A statue of Jesus that welcomed people into St. Mary's Cathedral in downtown Fargo has a big spot of black paint on its face. The Fargo Catholic Diocese says the vandalism happened sometime between Friday and Saturday, adding the white marble statue came from the Archdiocese of Cincinnati in 2018, and now crews are looking for ways to restore the piece. Police are investigating but have not yet commented on the matter. A man is now in jail after authorities say he killed a 7-year-old girl in a hit-and-run crash. Joshua Forshin turned himself in today. The incident happened on Saturday near Highway 281 in Rolette County. A group of children was crossing the road when Forshin hit the girl, ran into a ditch, and then drove away. He's facing charges of hit and run involving a death of a victim and manslaughter. Meanwhile, another man is in jail after a gunshot was reported in an apartment building. It happened yesterday at the Foxtail apartment building in Foston. No one was hurt. We're now getting a first-hand look at how a new body restraint tool works. Cass County deputies will soon be equipped with the BOLA remote restraint wrap system. It's an 8-foot tether that entangles someone by using little force. The sheriff's office calls it a less lethal use of force option.
Situations that I think have been real successful, or in a lot of the research that I've done, are individuals that might have mental health issues.
The sheriff's office has purchased 3 BOLA wrap systems. They'll be implemented in the coming weeks. Fargo police now working with OK Tire to help with the recent uptick in catalytic converter thefts. There have been 137 cases of stolen converters since December, according to police. OK Tire will use a flame-resistant paint on your converter and etch in a partial VIN number to make it less desirable to thieves. Officials say this new initiative will help deter criminals from stealing converters.
So not necessarily devaluing. What we're looking to do is help prevent theft of these catalytic converters. So a lot of times criminals will go for crime of opportunity. So if they're under the vehicle, they'll see that the heat-resistant paint is on there, as well as an etching of a partial VIN number. We're hoping that will also deter them from stealing it, as well as if we come across someone with catalytic converters and we see these markings, our investigations units and the officers can work to help identify where that catalytic converter came from.
The service is free. The Fargo Police Department is urging you to call them if you notice any suspicious activity. Governor Doug Burgum has signed a bill that would cover the cost of health insurance for families of emergency responders who die in the line of duty. The bill was in honor of Officer Cody Holte, who was shot and killed in May 2020. It will cover the cost of health insurance for surviving spouses and dependents of those lost in the line of duty. The bill has a retroactive date of 2010 and will also include correctional facility staff, emergency medical services personnel, and firefighters. The Moorhead Public Library has a challenge for you, and it must be completed in the next 8.5 months. We've got details for you next.
And as you stepped out the door this morning, you may have said, ooh, it's chilly. And it was 20s for many of us to get out the door. We did see some morning sunshine, but increasing popcorn cumulus clouds across the valley. I'll tell you who may see flakes in the forecast for Tuesday right after this.
Dear road rivals, charging extra for safety is where we part ways. See, I ride with standard Toyota safety.